Going to be talking about determinants in Cramer's rule. This is section 4-5. We're only covering determinants today. It's kind of a lot of stuff, so for today we're just doing determinants. All right, a determinant for a 2x2 matrix is also known as a second order determinant. And here's the formula for how you have to find it. So they can write DET, which means determinant, A, B, C, D. That's a 2x2. And the way that you find it, sometimes they write it like this. That looks like absolute values, but it's not. With matrices, it's called a determinant. So the determinant of ABCD matrix is you take A times D minus B times C. And that's it. So you're going to take this times this minus this times this, and you'll get an answer. So for example, if we have this determinant, 4, -3, 5, and 6, you're going to take 4 times 6 minus 5 times -3. So what is 4 times 6? 24 minus 5 times -3, and you're going to get 39. So your final answer here is 39. Okay, let's do another one. The directions are going to say, evaluate each determinant. So, number 1A. Our determinant is 5, 8, -4, 9. So you're going to take 5 times 9 minus -4 times 8, or 8 times -4. Obviously, it doesn't matter how you multiply a number like that. So 5 times 9 is 45. 2 negatives make a positive. 4 times 8 is 32. Add them up. 77. So your answer, or the determinant of that matrix, is 77. Why don't you try this one? So again, those are not parallel lines. What those are, it just means determinant. They'll either do this or they'll write DET. Either way. Usually they just do the thing that looks like parallel lines. Okay, so we're going to do 0, 4, 6, -11. You find the determinant. So you're going to take 0 times -11 minus 6 times 4. Well, 0 times anything is 0. Minus 24 is what? -24. So our final answer is -24. If you have any questions, make sure you write it down in your notes in the question column. I'm going to have you try one more without me. -6, 10, -7, 8. Find the determinant. The answer to this one is 22. If you didn't get it right, or you need help, or you need me to show work, ask me when we have class. Okay, the next thing we need to do is third order determinant. This one is a little bit harder. Use the diagonal rule. This is on page 221. I'm going to give you my own rules to it that might make more sense, but if you ever get confused or final exams or something, you can go to page 221 and your book has the rules listed. I'm going to write them down here for you in a way that makes more sense to me, and then once we do an example, hopefully it's a little bit easier. In words, it's always confusing. Just write it down for now, and then when we do an example, you'll see how to do it. Step 1. So a third order determinant is going to be a 3 by 3. So what we need to do is rewrite the first two columns to the right of the determinant. Step 2, that's the easy part. Draw diagonals from the upper left and multiply, then do the upper right. Step 3, find the sum of the products in each diagonal. So sum means add, product means multiply. Step 4, subtract the second sum from the first sum. So again, I know that doesn't make sense yet. Just write it down for now. This fourth step is the most important one. If you get two numbers and you subtract them in the wrong order, your final answer is going to be wrong. So all that work that you did ahead of time would have been for nothing. So for example, if you get 10 for one and 2 for the other, 10 minus 2 is obviously 8. But 2 minus 10 is not the same answer. So you really have to make sure you subtract them in the proper order or else you're going to get the whole thing wrong. So don't do that. Take your time, write this down, and then we'll do one. Okay, this will be number 2. All right, they want you to find the determinant of this matrix. Make sure you write it down carefully. 4, -3, 4. Sorry, -4 at the bottom. 4, -3, -4. -8, 2, 5, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so the first step, if you go back, says to rewrite the first two columns. So all you're going to do is rewrite this column and this one right behind the matrix. So 4, -3, -4, -8, 2, 5. Okay, again, if you go back to the directions, it says go from the upper left, and we'll do those first. So if you draw diagonals from the upper left, that's going to be this first one is your first diagonal. So I'm going to show the work here. 4 times 2 times 9, which is going to be 72. The next diagonal, -8 times 6 times -4. What's that? 192. And the last diagonal we can draw from the upper left is 3 times -3 times 5. What's that answer? -45. So when you're done, you're going to add all of those together. So take a second and add those up. You should get 219. Okay, so if we go back to our directions, we just did our upper left and we multiplied. Now we're going to do our upper right. I'm going to try to do this in a different color if I can figure this out. Okay, there we go. So this one is the first diagonal that we can do. So we're going to take -4 times 2 times 3. What do you get? -24. The next diagonal, 5 times 6 times 4. 5 times 6 is times 4. 120. The last diagonal going to the right, 9 times negative 3 times negative 8. What's that answer? 216. So again, you're going to add those up, see what you get. 312. So what we just did was we did our upper left, we did our upper right, we found the sum, we added them up already. So now we need to subtract the second one from the first one. So we need to do 219 minus the second one, 312. You always take the first one minus the second one. Call it whatever you want, but that's how you do it. What do you get? Negative 93. Your answer to this whole problem is negative 93. So again, if you had done that wrong, if you had taken 312 minus 219, you're not going to get the same answer. So you really have to pay attention to that. Pause this, look at it one more time, make sure you understand what you're doing. We'll do another one or two. Okay. Call this number 3. Again, same thing. Find the determinant. Negative 5, negative 2, negative 4. 9, negative 1, 6. 4, 5, 2. Go back to your directions. Rewrite the first two columns. So, negative 5, negative 2, negative 4, 9, negative 1, 6. So we're going to do our diagonal thing again. If you go back to the rules, always do it the same way. Do the upper left side first. So, that's the first diagonal you can draw. Negative 5 times negative 1 times 2. And get your answer. I'll come back to it. Second diagonal is right here. So that's going to be 9 times 5 times negative 4. Third diagonal, this guy, 4 times negative 2 times 6. Find all three of those. You're going to get 10, negative 180, and negative 48. When you get those, you add them up. So take a minute and add those. The answer is negative 218 for that part. Okay, now we have to go backwards. So take this first diagonal. That's going to be negative 4 times negative 1 times 4. What do you get? 16. The next diagonal is this one. 6 times 5 times negative 5. What do you get? Negative 150. Third diagonal, this one. 2 times negative 2 times 9. What's the answer? Negative 36. What do you do with all three of these? Add. Take a minute, use your calculator, and add those up. Negative 170. So now what you do is you're going to subtract. So you always have to take this one minus this one. So negative 218 minus negative 170. Use your calculator. Two negatives make a positive, whatever. You get negative 48. Your final answer to this whole thing is negative 48. That is the only way to do this problem. Take a minute, look it over again, pause it if you need to, ask for help. Okay, last one. I'm not going to show any work. I'm just going to do the problem and give you the answer. If you don't get it right, you're going to ask for help on this one in class. Negative 803, negative 4, negative 5, 4, 4, negative 8, 1. you should get negative 60. You need to do this problem on your own without me. See if you can get it right. Go back to the directions, take your time, show your work so that way I can see where you messed up if you get it wrong. So take your time, finish this one, and make sure you write down any questions you may have for class tomorrow.